So, the final Splitgate 2 playtest just happened. The last playtest until the game's relaunch. Once again, personally, I think it was a successful one. Most of the playtests that they've done have been quite successful in my eyes, with only one standing out to myself and everyone else as more of a step backwards, and they quickly went back on those decisions. Obviously, that was the choices made to make portals charge-based, or basically run out and you have to recharge them. That was reverted, and the future changes were very well received, such as the EMP grenade, the new way that portals work when you overcharge a wall. If you shoot two portals onto a wall, you overcharge it and it can't be used for a while, which is very cool. The new weapons like the LMGs and now the railgun. Game modes coming back, like party modes like shotty snipers and SWAT have been tested out in the recent tests. The match composer, so you can search for specific game modes. UI overhauls, the new menu look, all great additions. New maps like Abyss and now also Carmen Station, which was previously called Outpost. And then weapon balancing across the board as well. So today, let's take a look at what some of these things look like. Basically, let's take a look at how the Splitgate 2 relaunch is most likely going to look, because it doesn't seem like much is changing from this point going on. They said that the relaunch is sooner than we think, and initially they said the relaunch was going to be Q1 of 2026. So who knows, maybe Splitgate 2's relaunch comes in December, or maybe it comes like January, first week of January, something like that, rather than, you know, Q1, which could be March. So let's have a look at how the menus look. The first thing you'll notice is that your player is no longer standing on a platform. There's no longer 4 platforms on the middle of this sort of backdrop scene that you used to have, where each player could spawn in. It's now just like your player kind of vaulting over a beam, or like dashing to the side to avoid a bullet, and just cool like pre-planned poses like that your character will be posed in. The UI had a bit of an overhaul. It wasn't bad in the first place, but it's much cleaner now. As you'll see at the top, we have play, battle pass, events, weapons, locker, career, and store. That's kind of the same as what was there before, but it's when you go into these that you start to see the differences. For example, if we go to the weapons panel, you'll see we now have loadouts, customization, and progression. And in loadouts, you can create, I think, maybe as many as you want. And you can choose the primary weapon, the secondary, the gear you want to bring in, the attachments, and then the perks that you want to use on that loadout too, and give it a name. And if we go into what weapons you can select, you'll now see that the LMGs have been added to Splitgate. There is an Eros, Meridian, and Sabrask LMG in the game, which was added in the previous test. There's weapon mastery for every weapon in the game, which is something they started working on before the relaunch. This was in like the original launch of the game, basically, but it just looks much neater, and there may be some extra challenges in there and things. And then if we go to locker, you got a new scene here. You've got your player sat down on a bench in a locker room. Looks quite depressed, actually, like he's just lost a match. And from there, you can change your appearance, your player card portal, and the emotes and sprays on your emote wheel. During this test, it seems like I have everything unlocked, but I doubt when the full game comes out I will. But it was nice to use like a bunch of these very cool skins that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to use on the main branch of the game. Then we have the player card and the title for your card, and the badges that you want to put on the bottom, the 3 slots you have for badges. And then portals, which there doesn't seem to be too many of. I've been using the execution portal a lot during these tests. And then the career page, which is very nice visually. I love the blue and red theme that it's got going on. Everything kind of matches. There's a clear style choice here. In here, you've got your career level. You've got weapon mastery. You've got challenges, which I assume are going to be the weekly, daily, monthly challenges. Your personal stats, and then the top 100 leaderboard. And that's it. If we then click play, you'll see we have different playlists. Right now, the only one is playtest. You click into there and it'll show you the modes that are available to search for. In this playtest, we have Arena Loadouts, Arena Classic, and Party Mix, which is things like Shotty Snipers, Team SWAT, maybe one in the chamber, pistols only, big heads, things like that would go into Party Mix. Arena Classic is how you would remember Splitgate 1. It's the carbine and AR starts for everyone, weapon placements on the maps as well as power-ups. Splitgate now has overshields as power-ups. It has the hypersight vision thing. I believe there might be a third power-up in there. Those were essentially the Meridian, Sabrask, and Eros power-ups that we previously had when the game had factions. The game doesn't have factions anymore. Those power-ups and those abilities and things have just been kept in the game in different ways through loadouts, equipment, and on-map pickups. And then, of course, Arena Loadouts is where you use your loadouts that you've created in the menus. And that's it for the test, and then you just search for a game. There's some cool new intro and outro cinematics when you start and finish a match. There's an MVP screen to show you who performed best on the winning team. These are all nice additions. It makes the game look a bit more polished. Very welcome. And then I believe some aspects of the game may have had a bit of a visual boost, and the game definitely runs smoother than it used to as well. I know that was a complaint from many users, is that the game ran kind of slow due to Unreal 5. That seems to have been fixed. I was running the game on ultra settings and getting 180 FPS, which is what I capped the game at. I probably could have got 240 if I wanted to. And that's with no frame generation at all either. That is raw performance, so very good there. When a match is finished, there's a new and very clean looking level up screen. They'll show you the XP you got for objectives, any boosts, any kills you got. It'll show you any rewards you've unlocked, and it'll show you if you leveled up any weapons with the weapon progression mastery as well, and like any skins you unlocked, any attachments you unlocked, stuff like that. And then the winner or loser screen afterwards, and the scoreboard, which was all kind of present in the launch, the original version of the game. And there you go. That's kind of everything new for this test. I think I may have missed something, but those are the things that stand out. Obviously, the previous test, we had the LMGs, the grenades, and weapon balancing and portal wall charging or overcharging. We had the addition of Abyss and Carmen Station, and I believe they're going to be adding even more Splitgate 1 maps to the game. And then obviously they'll add more playlists, game modes, things like that, new cosmetics. There'll be a new battle pass or season pass, I assume. And I'm not sure what happens with BR. There hasn't been a single playtest for BR that hasn't been the focus at all. Whether or not it's in the game at relaunch, I really don't know. It'd be weird to remove it since they put so much work into it and it was like a massive focus for them when initially launching the game. So maybe they keep it as like a little side mode, but it definitely feels like, the core roots of Splitgate, that arena, everyone is on equal terms, like an even playing field. That is like the focus going forward for Splitgate, which I agree is the right call to make. You weren't going to make people stop playing the BRs they were previously playing in order to play Splitgate BR. And BR is a dying genre. It was a fad that has reached the end of its life cycle, I believe. Extraction shooter is now the current fad, as is evident with games such as Tarkov and Arc Raiders. So yeah, that's kind of everything. The game runs better, visually looks better, the weapon balancing definitely feels better. Controller feels much nicer to use than it previously did. The challenges work now, which was a major thing. Don't know what's happening with ranked play, but I'm assuming that's going to be reworked a bit because people didn't like how that worked. And yeah, it's going to be in a much better place than where it was. But as I said in my previous video, if this is everything they have for the relaunch, personally, I think, look, these are all really great changes. I've had tons of fun playing the playtests, but I still don't feel like it's enough to bring in tens of thousands of players and keep the game at like a 5-digit CCU on Steam, maybe even on all platforms combined. I just don't know. Like, the current Splitgate player count on Steam is like 300. With these changes, you might get to 3,000. I don't think you're going back to the 25, 30k that you had at launch. I think you're really going to struggle to get there, and there needs to be some more like secret, hidden stuff in the pipeline that they haven't been playtesting with us, that they put in there, such as the race mode, changes to the map editor, the replay mode, tons of new maps and game modes getting added, that rework to the ranked play system, and no portal mode for the people who want that, because there is a decently sized player base who want that. And I imagine there'll be a lot of Halo players looking for a fix, and this could be it. You know, Splitgate is in a really good position right now to come back and deliver something that a lot of people are willing to play for an entire year, maybe even longer. You know, this is the same thing that happened to them previously. Splitgate 1 exploded in popularity, partially because people were looking for an arena shooter game and Halo wasn't delivering. It was like right at the end of Halo 5 Guardian's life cycle and right before Infinite came out, and Splitgate had a few months, like 3 or 4 months, where it was absolutely popping. Everyone was playing on it. People were making TikToks about it. Streamers started playing it without being paid to play it. Like, they were just playing it because they enjoyed it. And I feel like history could be repeated there, because Halo is not doing anything until November of next year. So you could have a solid year for Splitgate 2, but they absolutely have to deliver. They can't under-deliver because people won't give the game a third chance. I think a lot of people might be willing to try it out again with the relaunch because it happened so fast. And they were immediately like, okay, first few months of this game haven't gone well. We're going back into beta and we're going to relaunch. Play the relaunch when it comes out. I think people would be willing to do that. But that relaunch has to deliver. Like, if it doesn't hook people and doesn't have something that makes people want to come back day in, day out and play it, I don't think they give it a third chance. Like, if what they deliver is just, you know, if people play it for a couple hours and go, yeah, it was all right, yeah, I might tune into this once a month or something, it's not enough. Like, they need to deliver something that makes people want to play this game on, at the very least, a weekly basis. And I think, for me, that's where it currently sits. But I am a massive Splitgate fan and someone who has, like, more than 1,000 hours in the 2 Splitgate games combined. The average player, I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep them playing every week and keep them coming back. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm hoping for more. Hopefully there are more additions to come in the relaunch, and seems like it, you know, it's probably going to be in the next month or two. I don't think that every game mode and every map that was in, I mean, not every map, most maps that were in Splitgate 1 need to be like ported over. It seems like it's something they've been doing fairly easily, and I imagine there's a couple that they're hiding from us, like Club Silo. You know, that was a favorite. And especially if they can remaster the music that was in that. It was definitely a loved song by the community. I believe it was like Ian's sister, Cardinal, the CEO, making that song for Club Silo, which is very cool. And yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see like everything that was in Splitgate 1, I want it to be in Splitgate 2. That's where I think his success comes from. Replicate what you had in the first place. Replicate what made you go viral in the first place. But just better graphics, better performance, and just more, like just literally a enhanced version of what you created originally with no technical debt. We'll see. That's all from me. Let me know in the comments if you've partaken in any of these tests and what you've thought of them, and if you haven't, let me know what you think about all the videos you've been watching on them, or like if this is your first time watching a video on the relaunch. Let me know what you think of the changes you've seen during this video, such as the new weapons and equipment and the map remakes and things like that, and if it's enough if it looks like enough to pull you back and try the relaunch when it comes out. Yep, that's it. I'll see you in, I guess, the next Splitgate video, which will be the actual relaunch. So yeah, until then.